It has been both awesome and hilarious watching the evolution of Dave Rubin from, Young Turks host to who, me, bro? I'm just a classical liberal, So he was sort of like a Sam Harris devotee for a while. And then he just kept shifting further and further right, and became a Trump sycophant. Now he's a DeSantis simp. But the interesting thing now is all he does is like total softball interviews with the most odious people in the country. I think he sat down with Mike Pompeo. He sat down with Jared Kushner and didn't ask him about the $2 billion he took from Saudi Arabia. It's hilarious. He's like the world's worst and least subtle propagandist at this point. Just a total conservative hack. So now he sits down with Lauren Boebert, and I love this conversation because he's now evolved to the point where he doesn't even try to craft arguments that might appeal, to like people who are still left-leaning or even centrist. Like everything is just so in that conservative bubble. So here they're going to talk about homelessness, and there's so much about this that is striking. So we'll listen, and then I'll break it down.
When I did my book tour back in May, I did Denver. I'd stop in Denver, and I was shocked at the amount of homeless people there. Like, you expect it in Seattle, you expect it in San Francisco and Portland, et cetera. But I was shocked by what was going on in Denver, which is such a gorgeous city, and the people are great and all that. So what is going on in Denver?
Democrats. So, I mean, really, that's what happened. We had universal mail-in ballots about 10 years ago go through, and Democrats started taking over every single election. And unfortunately, it was when we had our gubernatorial race that elected Governor Jared Polis. And after that is when we just saw this dramatic decline in Colorado. Our policies infringing on Coloradans' rights. And then just the crime increase. Marijuana, it's legal in Colorado, obviously.
I love how she went from talking about infringing on Americans' rights to legal marijuana being bad. Hold on. Wouldn't one of the rights be to put in your body whatever you want to put in your body as long as you're not hurting anybody else? Seamlessly from violating Americans' rights and legal weed. Like legal weed is bad. To do that, just a sentence apart is astonishing to me.
And I think that did bring in a different...
So you connect that directly? Because as a general rule, I'm more liberal.
So this is Dave saying you connect the legalizing of marijuana directly to homelessness. That's what Dave's saying there.
And I do believe in legalizing this stuff, and I'm not against people doing what they want with their lives.
Good. Still one rare issue where Rubin W.
But even seeing in New York what's going on right now, the whole city just smells like weed, basically.
Yes. You can't go outside in Denver and not smell weed. And it's pretty much throughout most of the state, especially in those urban areas. But I think it just brought with it, that legalization brought with it a different population and certainly a transient population. And the homelessness has just skyrocketed in Denver.
So she's linking legal weed to homelessness. Legal marijuana, she's linking to homelessness. Here's why I absolutely love this clip. When you strip down all the, hey, try to be polite in society or try to appeal to the other side, and you just have two right-wing goons in their right-wing goon bubble, they're more honest. And so here you get an honest portrayal of what they think of this issue. And when the issue of homelessness comes up, neither one of them says, oh, maybe it's a poverty issue. Like maybe it's a money issue. Maybe it's an income and wealth inequality issue. There's a tiny percentage of the population that has like all the money. And then there's this giant swath at the bottom that doesn't have any. And at the very bottom, you have people who have like nothing and they're homeless. Hey, maybe when people end up not having a roof over their head, it's because they don't have the funds to put a roof over their head. So maybe it's a money issue. Maybe it should be addressed like that. That literally doesn't even come up. Poverty, money, wealth and income, it doesn't occur to them. Doesn't occur to them. And by the way, they say like homelessness. Why is that going on? Democrats. What? Just so you understand, what is the Republican quote unquote solution to homelessness? Criminalization. So here's what they do. They send the cops in there. They bust up homeless encampments, right? And they either lock up homeless people for whatever minor charges they can find, or the homeless people just end up going from being homeless in one place to just being homeless in another place. So it's like out of sight, out of mind to people like Lauren Boebert and Dave Rubin. It's just like, you're an eyesore. I don't like looking at you. So like, let's do something here. It's in no way, shape, or form is it like concern for fellow human beings or a criticism of the system that allows homeless people to exist in the first place. It's just like, you're an eyesore, got to get rid of you. And you heard it. You heard them talk about it. And you heard the issues they brought up. Literally, the thrust of the conversation here is, man, legal weed leads to homelessness. These people are astonishing, man. They're astonishing. You could make more of an argument, even though it's not true, by the way, but you can make more of an argument for legal alcohol leading to homelessness. Again, it's not true, just to be clear, but there is more of a theoretical argument for that than there is for weed leading to homelessness. Oh my God. So not only does she not want to protect freedoms, she also wants to criminalize homelessness and not address any of the root problems that leads to homelessness in the first place. I got a crazy idea. What if we passed a law at the national level to put a roof over everybody's head? On top of being the right thing from a moral and ethical perspective, it would also, and this is a fact, save money from taxpayers. Because it turns out when there are homeless people on the streets, they end up going in and out of jail, in and out of hospitals. It ends up costing more money having people in the streets in the first place. So if you put a roof over everybody's head, it's morally correct, it's ethically correct, and it's financially correct. But they would lose their minds and call it socialism if, somebody talked about, let's just get rid of homelessness. What if we put a roof over everybody's head? They would lose it. They would absolutely lose it. And you'd hear all the rantings about personal responsibility and all that stuff. So anyway, what a clip, man. Blaming weed for homelessness, and in a conversation about homelessness, not a single mention about money, which is the core problem. The main issue when it comes to homelessness is a lack of money for these people. And then you have a secondary issue, which is, of course, mental health issues and drug addiction issues. But you can address all of that by putting a roof over everybody's head and having free rehab clinics and free mental health facilities. And, the president could easily act on that, but they choose not to act. Why? Because there is no homelessness lobby. And the government is too busy representing big moneyed interests that pay them, corporations that pay them, billionaires that pay them. But this could be fixed within a year. Within a year, homelessness could be solved, and the 600,000 Americans who are homeless could get a roof over there. But there is no will to do it. And all we get is right-wingers blaming weed for it and acting like it's some sort of moral failing, and these are bad people. It says a lot about the way they view the world. And then final point is, Lauren Boebert considers herself a hardcore Christian. Is this how Jesus would talk about homeless people? Please. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take $0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.